Hello there friends, Dota News here. Today's episode is dedicated to something dim, grim, dark and sad. We're gonna discuss Taiga and his ties with match-fixing Mafia. Basically how he ventured down the dark path of match-fixing, why he couldn't step away from it, and whether the rumors of him throwing matches in OG are legit. But before we kick off, just a little heads up. This video is based on something Morph Designer prepared and showed on his channel. Morph Designer is a Russian-speaking journalist who basically works in the Russian-speaking community. His video is half an hour long and it's detailed and it has all of it, but it is in Russian but has English subtitles. If you want to watch the original video, just do it on his channel, but here I will just briefly discuss what happened and show you the most important things. Basically, I'm just telling you what Morph said, but in English instead of Russian, and for you to easily comprehend. Basically, huge respect for Morph because he was the guy to make this video, to conduct interviews, to speak to Taiga, SENSABILITY, to have the receipts and all that, and all the evidence we need. I'm here to retranslate whatever he is saying. This story basically has two sides, Taiga's take and then there's SENSABILITY's take, one of the most notorious match fixers in the Dota scene. Wow, so guys, I cannot believe it, but without further ado, let's get straight to it. The story begins in 2022 when OG clinched the 8th spot at the International. The team took a month off. While all his teammates were just chilling, Taiga decided to spend his money a little. You know, just to have some fun. And a couple of months later, he hit the rock bottom. On Twitter, he openly admitted to struggle with gambling addiction and his attempts to overcome it. However, during one of his ranked matches, Taiga crossed paths with a guy named SENSABILITY. They hit it off and got to know each other better on Discord, and that's the moment when the Russian match fixer suggested to start leaking team info for bets. Just listen to this.
Called gaming. You know the mid player? You know he's fixing?
Yes, they fix you. Yeah, I sent you already.
Thank you, I got it.
What
It's MetaMask. It's electronic wallet.
Okay.
So, separate betting accounts were set up for Taiga on various betting websites to avoid detection, and they weren't even funded by Taiga himself. But Tommy was so deep into his addiction that he couldn't last half a day without squandering it all. On one day, he just lost everything. But SENSABILITY came up with an idea how to make it work. Thanks to the lost money, Taiga could be easily blackmailed for juicy insider info.
Do you play scrims against Entity or
Yeah, we have good win score against them in scrims.
maybe you know what you're gonna draft?
Yeah. I wanna wait info. Like I wanna put everything in, you know, like 5k, 6k, 8k when you have info.
He was basically an inside agent, and Taiga leaked everything, but there was never any talk about throwing matches. SENSABILITY came up with a clever solution for Taiga. The idea was to start betting on his own team during the DPC League, specifically on who gets the first blood. Essentially, Tommy just wouldn't need to throw any games, he'd just need to bait his team into securing the first blood against their opponents. Sounds pretty simple, right? SENSABILITY would handle all the bets himself across his numerous accounts and share the profits. All Taiga needed to do was to stream his screen over Discord during official DPC matches. That was basically the part of their agreement, allowing match fixer SENSABILITY to watch everything in real time without any delay. And my bros, just listen to this. This is how Taiga's first bet on his team went down. Exactly a millisecond after securing first blood, his teammate was also killed. So basically it was too close, very close. Imagine the scenario of the thousands of dollars bet on Taiga had not come through. I mean, it's the Mafia. They can do all sorts of things. At least that's what SENSABILITY says. But this time everything went smoothly and he even shared his joy by messaging his accomplice on Telegram. This is all said by SENSABILITY himself in an interview with Morph. However, according to Taiga, it wasn't all as it seemed. He was forced to stream an official game on Discord or else. They threatened to leak info about him. And that the first blood tactic was just actually a pre-planned strategy within OG and he didn't receive any money for it. But what Taiga officially confirms is that he did bet on OG, but only on their victories. So after such a success, SENSABILITY decided to go big and wanted to connect Taiga with the Chinese match-fixing Mafia.
Speak with my China friend, he can bet like 10k.
But who is this guy?
Boss, real boss. He like boss of Knights, Polaris, he rich, very rich. So I will speak with them about first blood, how much that we can get it.
That sounds dangerous, bro. Risky. I'd rather not have China man involved. Just you and me. You know, I'm Asian, so I know China how it works.
Only China can bet a lot.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't care about a lot. I just care about you and me. I'm your friend. We just work together.
Thankfully, Tommy decided to turn down the offer to get involved with the Chinese Mafia, which is a relief, honestly, because it's scary to think what might have happened if he had agreed. But then came the Dream League, where the stakes were much higher and bets were placed on every match. Here's one of the most important things. Here, Sensibility suggested to throw one of the maps, but Taiga refused to do it and agreed to only do the regular First Blood stuff. Anyways, it worked just fine with the now traditional screen sharing. Yet, this time, however, the partners found another way to do guaranteed bets. Total over kills. Basically, it works like this. For example, OG total kills over 30. If OG score 30 kills throughout the whole map, you win the bet, but if they don't, like 29 for example, you lose. So basically Taiga and Sensibility decided to do this. In a match against Nouns, Taiga decided to start picking whatever heroes are best for killing, to get as much kills as possible. And even though Sensibility knew these bets were risky, it was still very profitable. And making Taiga involved in all of this and even more indebted was convenient for blackmailing purposes. It all led to Taiga proposing to personally give the first blood to Nouns due to their aggressive gameplay.
Feed first blood in one map. But I don't know how to do it properly, so it's not like 100%. Maybe 95% if I feed first blood, so don't bet everything.
Around $50,000 was bet on this, because the Russian match-fixing Mafia, which is closely working with Sensibility, decided to go all in. Taiga's tactic here was pretty simple. He was meant to go to check the rune and scout the enemy's vision and get caught by the opponents. However, he only encountered Morphling, who got scared off. So no matter how Taiga wanted it, there was no first blood. Luckily for Tommy, his teammate Disruptor decided to give away the first blood. Just imagine how Taiga was scared of the Russian Mafia when he just didn't die there. Anyways, as it all often happens, good things come to an end. Well, I'm not sure I can call that good things, right? Taiga asked his partner to bet on different outcomes, like the total number of kills and the duration of maps. However, aside from the usual first bloods, none of their bets landed, and the duo found themselves in the hole. They owed money. They immediately decided to come back in their match against Tundra, and thankfully things went smoothly here. But suddenly, in need of money, Taiga asked his friend to place a bigger bet. They were playing against Team Spirit, so the odds were really high. They wagered $10,000. Though Sensibility was really worried if Taiga could cover the losses if things went bad. Taiga responded that if they lost the bet, he'd intentionally throw the first blood in the next game. Basically, he'd do things he asked for. And this is where they miscalculated badly. You know, Team Spirit, they prepare well for games, and they just learned that OG really liked to go and do first bloods. They ambushed them in the jungle on the high ground, so obviously the bet was lost, and the losses were enormous. But remember how Taiga promised to throw the first blood? He just did it in the very next match against Beast Coast, because basically everything was on the line and another failure could mean real-world consequences. Yet Taiga couldn't manage to give away the first blood. He attempted a clever move by selling boots in the secret shop for movement speed, telling his teammates that the opponents were playing aggressively and would likely go for the first blood, and he just solo stood there in the enemy jungle. Despite his efforts, even plan B, which involved feeding under the tower, almost failed. First, Troll Warlord got scared off, but then, by some miracle, he managed to give the kill to Silencer. It's just frightening to think what might have happened to Taiga if he had failed. His debts would be enormous. And after such stress, Taiga immediately asked to no longer bet on first bloods, but rather on his team's victories, though they lost that match. And considering his previous adventures, they just ended the day with more losses than wins. Nonetheless, overall, he made a lot. Here are the screenshots of all cryptocurrency transfers to Taiga. According to Sensibility, Taiga was sent about $35,000 in total, which is a no small amount for one person in a month. Next, OG made it to the main event of the Dream League, where the top teams from all over the world were competing, and that's where the real money was supposed to be. But something went wrong in the very first match against Shopify. They didn't just fail to secure the first blood, they actually gave it away, but not Taiga, it was his offlaner. But what's funnier and a little sad is that if Taiga had no special tasks, if you know what I mean, he was just playing exceptionally well. Obviously, Taiga couldn't care less about the bats at that point, because he was playing in a crucial tournament that could qualify them for the Riyadh Masters, the international backed by the sheikhs, a lot of money. But getting out of the match-fixing world is not that easy. So SENSABILITY started to blackmail his now ex-friend with the threat of exposing their chats and ending his professional career. Despite Taiga's bets nearly all paying off, OG couldn't win anything at the Dream League. There was just one last game against Team Liquid that didn't matter at all. SENSABILITY asked Taiga to intentionally lose this match, which he of course refused to do. It was clear that our hero was under a lot of pressure, and their correspondence was anything but friendly. But then came the Berlin Major. Taiga said he didn't try to throw any games at the tournament, he just shared some of his team's strategies, evident in some of the messages. How did he do it? Quite simply, guys. He'd excuse himself to the bathroom, and that's all, and there he talked about picks and strategies. And bets were placed based on this information. However, SENSABILITY tells a different story, claiming that Taiga was fully aware and got a cut from all of this. Here are all the cryptocurrency transfers made during the major. In total, he received $7,000. He continued with the first bloods, with some failures here and there. But also, Taiga focused on his game and his team, and they finished 6th in the tournament, earning them around $3,000 per person after all the deductions. But after the major, the whole community was just buzzing with theories about Taiga's involvement in match fixing, leading OG to sideline him. But as I mentioned in my previous video, Taiga was temporarily benched and OG launched an investigation, which found nothing. And SENSABILITY says that this was because Taiga had cleaned up all the evidence, and the bets were like not placed from his accounts and all that. A couple of weeks later, he was reinstated to the main roster, and he just blocked SENSABILITY everywhere. How it all ultimately ended remains somewhat of a mystery. Taiga himself says he's long since quit the game and won't touch betting ever again. SENSABILITY, on the other hand, claims the opposite. According to him, Taiga just connected with different people and just continues to do it. And basically, this is the reason why SENSABILITY decided to talk to Morph and leak all the information about Taiga, because Taiga went to work for their competitors. Oh my guys, now it's really unclear how to feel about Taiga after everything we've uncovered in this episode. On one hand, he's just a mentally ill boy because gambling is an addiction, and he got blackmailed. But he didn't throw matches intentionally. Baiting his team into securing first bloods is certainly match fixing, but that's not like losing games. However, leaking tactics and drafts of his own team while playing competitive tournaments, serious tournaments, is just different story. And bro, it's Russian match-fixing Mafia. How did you even agree to work with them? Anyways, let me know, my friends, what do you think about this whole crazy scandal in the comments below. I mean, Taiga was really good a couple of years ago. He was just one of the best position 4 players in the world, but right now it's just... I have no words, to be honest. Finally, we're over with this sad episode. Guys, that was all from me. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. And guys, don't forget to support our channel through Patreon, and the link will be in the comments below. And even though Dota is pretty dim and calm right now, except for this whole Taiga situation, I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.